Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Second Take. You guys already know me. I'm Armand Sadler. You know her. This is my co-host, Jillian Kushner. And happy Valentine's Day to you all. And what better way to start Valentine's Day than to talk about my one true love, which is sports. Am I right, Jill?
Oh, completely right. It's the only way I want to spend my Valentine's Day.
Sounds about right. So let's get right into it. Actually, before we get into our topics, I want to let all viewers know that at the end of our show, we will have a question and answer session where you guys can pose questions to us, and we will answer them and perhaps even debate them. So you can send questions in throughout the entire broadcast, and we'll get to them as soon as we're done discussing the topics we have at hand. And now let's get right into it. First, we're going to discuss the Missouri D-end, who is a top NFL draft prospect who just came out and said that he's gay. And I, for one, would like to commend him for having the courage to do such a thing because, I mean, the NFL, it's so masculine, all the adrenaline, all the masculinity, all the hormones and stuff going around. It's such a male-dominated sport, and there's just so much masculinity in it. And to admit that you're gay is not an easy thing to do. So I commend Michael Sam, and I want people to know that his homosexuality does not change him as an athlete. It doesn't change him as a football player. He's the same guy he was before, and hopefully NFL locker rooms are receptive to him. They don't have to accept him, but as long as they don't make things uncomfortable for him, I think that there really doesn't need to be much drama going into this.
I completely agree. I can see it the other way. I am from the South. We do have that type of problem, and it's awful. It's unfortunate. And I hate the way the South is for that reason. And the reason that this Michael Sam thing is such a big deal is that it's a change. Like, it's different. It's not normal. But the way I look at it is the normal white male, white female, two white kids family is not normal anymore. Michael Sam is normal. That is normal. And for the players, they're saying they may be uncomfortable having a gay man in the locker room. But for some reason, there's this misconception that every gay man wants every man, and that's not even close to true. That is ignorant. This is all about ignorance. I think that people need to learn to be more accepting. People need to give this guy a chance. Last time I checked, being gay does not affect your ability to tackle, your ability to run fast, or to be a good football player. So why is this on ESPN? Why is this the only headline I've seen? Why are we getting involved in his personal family matters? Let him go home to who he pleases. We are more okay with a player who's going to go home to prostitutes and drugs than someone who wants to go home to another man. That doesn't make any sense to me. I think the most shocking thing about this whole Michael Sam case is that he was the SEC Defensive Player of the Year, and he's only a third or fourth round draft pick. That's something that needs to be making headlines, not his sexuality.
Absolutely. I completely agree that this really shouldn't be news. I mean, homosexuality exists in the world today. There are many gays. Gay marriage is being legalized in states. So at this point, a player being homosexual shouldn't be such a shocking thing, but it still is. And I mean, we can only hope that at some point it'll be accepted and it won't be as big of a deal as it is right now. But we don't want to dwell on that for too long. It's a sensitive topic. I really do appreciate Michael Sam being so courageous. I wish him the best in the NFL. I hope he gets drafted early. He's a great player, and he definitely deserves to be better than a third and fourth round draft pick. I mean, as I said, I think he's a top draft prospect, so definitely good luck to him in his future. But on the topic of the draft, Jill and I would like to give you guys our idea of who the top 3 picks in the NFL draft will be. And as we all know, the 3 teams that will most likely get the 3 picks are the Houston Texans, the St. Louis Rams, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, Jill, feel free to tell me who you think your top 3 picks will be, and I will respond.
All right, I got them easy. 1, Jadeveon Clowney, that big man out of South Carolina. 2, Teddy Bridgewater, quarterback out of Louisville. 3, Sammy Watkins, receiver out of Clemson. Done deal. Sealed, signed, delivered. Let's go.
Okay, well, I can definitely say that you and I agree on number 1. Jadeveon Clowney will go to Houston. They struggled this year, offensively and defensively. I think that he'll add a lot to their defense. He's an explosive player. He's intimidating. He's fierce. He plays hard every single down. and I just think that he'll do a really great job and in bringing the Texans back to the elite level that they used to play at, because they fell off big time this past season. So I think that his energy and his athleticism will really help elevate them. Number 2, the St. Louis Rams, they suffered an injury to their franchise quarterback, Sam Bradford, and that I personally would like to credit to their offensive line. So I think that the St. Louis Rams would be smart and should and will pick up Jake Matthews, offensive tackle out of Texas A&M, who blocked for a athlete that I really like, Mr. Johnny Manziel. And going on to pick number 3, I'm sure Joe probably won't agree with this. I was torn between Teddy Bridgewater and Johnny Manziel, but I think that the Jacksonville Jaguars need a lot more than just a good player. They need attention brought to them. They need some publicity. So I think that they'll make a power move and pick up Johnny Manziel and add him to the team and have him throw to Mr. Justin Blackmon. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars will pick up Johnny Manziel. I think that he would be a great pickup for them. He would add a lot to their offense. He's really dynamic. He's a dual threat like we talked about last week, and I think dual threats are really popular in the NFL. You see Colin Kaepernick doing amazing things for the 49ers, so I think Manziel will be a great pickup for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
No, because the thing is with Manziel, I have said it, I don't need to say it again, he will not be successful in the NFL. A quarterback like Teddy Bridgewater, that's somebody you want. You need a Teddy Bridgewater because Teddy Bridgewater is big. He knows what he's doing. He can do it well, and he was successful. I think he is way better than Manziel. I don't even think they should be in the same conversation. Any team who needs a quarterback is going to Teddy Bridgewater first if they want to be smart, not to Manziel. And as far as Sammy Watkins, that he is a great receiver. And we're talking number 3 pick goes to the Jaguars. The Jaguars need help in every sense of the word. The Jaguars have not been good in my lifetime. So the past 20 years, they have not been good. I would love to see them be good because, otherwise, why are they a team? What's their purpose here? So they could use a Sammy Watkins. They could also use everybody else in the draft. So I think starting with a good receiver and you get a quarterback who can throw to that receiver, it doesn't even need to be a good quarterback because Sammy Watkins is such a high caliber of receiver.
Okay, well, I think you just kind of contradicted your own argument by saying that you should get a good quarterback to throw to Sammy Watkins. I mean, a quarterback is the leader of the team. There is no good NFL team without a good quarterback. And, I mean, picking up Sammy Watkins, yeah, that'd be great. But if you don't
you don't need a great quarterback. You do need a good one. Obviously, you can't have someone who's throwing at the ground. You need someone who can do the job. They do not need to be a first-round quarterback, though, if you have someone who has that good of a receiver. When I was looking at the Rams and I was saying they need Teddy Bridgewater, is because the Rams need to be restructured. They need a leader. They had Sam Bradford, but yes, this is another bias coming in. He's a Sooner. He's not good enough. So he was not a good enough leader for that team. He was not doing his part. The Rams have not exploded. They have not been this great team, and they were not one under Sam Bradford. They do need a quarterback like Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater brings attention. He is a big name. A lot of people know him. A lot of people love him. He does great stuff. Put him in there. Restart that entire franchise around Teddy Bridgewater, and that has some magic going in it. They do not need an offensive tackle.
I mean, I honestly, I disagree with you. I think that the Rams definitely could use an offensive lineman. I definitely think that the Jaguars should pick up Johnny Manziel. I mean, why not pick up a great quarterback instead of a great receiver? They already have a great receiver in Justin Blackmon. So I totally think that the Jaguars should pick up Mr. Johnny Manziel. But
Manziel's too selfish to be thrown to Justin Blackmon. Justin Blackmon is no. They don't need Johnny Manziel. They could get any other quarterback. They should get Taj Boyd. Taj Boyd later in the draft. Get him, not Manziel. You don't need Manziel.
All right.
Taj Boyd knows how to deal with it.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, let's move on. Anthony is finally in the video chat, so if you would briefly introduce yourself and then jump right into this argument, because I think you have some very choice words to say.
Yes, I do. Hi, my name is Anthony. I go to TCNJ. I'm a friend of Armand's.
Glad to have you.
Good, thanks. Good to be here. Good to be here. For Jill saying that Bridgewater should not be in the same class as Manziel, that is crazy to even say. Do you see the numbers that Manziel puts up, game in and game out, with the 96th ranked defense in the whole country? They allowed 32.2 points a game, and Manziel rallied. He was that whole offense.
He wasn't. That's what I've been saying. It's the offensive line has made great things. He had great targets. Manziel himself is nothing special.
Oh,
I mean, I just can't believe you're saying such a thing. Like, I don't know how you can watch his highlight tape and say he's not that special. How
Unimpressed.
someone who won the Heisman isn't that special. The Heisman, and I really want to address what you said last week about how the Heisman goes to the best of the bunch. That's exactly what it is. It goes to the best of the bunch.
Because just the best of the bunch does not mean it is the best, the player most deserving. It means there's no one else good enough in that year. We have had some very bad, great player years. We've had a lot of great teams, a lot of great offensives, stuff like that, but not great single players a lot of the time. Manziel did not deserve that Heisman. The Heisman has lost its credibility.
So then, who deserved the Heisman then? If Johnny Manziel?
I don't think anyone deserved it that year. No one was deserving that year.
Wow. No one deserved the Heisman Trophy
that year.
There wasn't a single player who played so well that they deserved the Heisman Trophy.
No.
Wow.
No, I didn't see anyone that year that I was like, wow, like this is a great player. I was saying Manti Te'o, and then Manti Te'o proves he couldn't play like that. A lot of Manti Te'o's fame was around that dead girlfriend, that dead.
The hoax, yeah.
But then we that's a whole other story. And as far as Colin Klein, from Kansas State, he's a good quarterback. He was very successful, but he wasn't anything great. He had a great success rate. Does not mean that he is great. Just because your team wins does not mean you are great. It means that you were great as a team, not as a solo player. I do not believe there was one solo player that year who was great enough to deserve the Heisman, and I will stand by that.
I mean, I just don't see successful teams that don't have great quarterbacks. Like, you can't be a successful team without a great quarterback. Johnny Manziel is a great quarterback. Texas A&M was successful because of him. No offense can run without a good quarterback. Like, yeah, great offensive line, great coach, great receivers, great running back. But if you don't have a good quarterback, you're nothing.
Good, not great. Good.
He was great.
Did you not see?
Good, not great.
So please chime in, Anthony. Chime in.
The numbers speak for themselves. If you say he had a great offensive line, I'm sorry. Like, his offensive line was okay, but did you watch games? He had to get out of the pocket constantly. He had to extend plays constantly, game in and game out, and he made plays. That's why I like he makes plays. He is a great quarterback, and he's going to be a great quarterback in the NFL.
He cannot play like that in the NFL. It's another point.
Absolutely can. But what's like Colin Kaepernick? Look at Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick runs way more than he passes. Way more. And he's went to 2 straight NFC championships. He went to the Super Bowl last year, almost won it. He went pretty far this year, almost made it to the Super Bowl again. He was one play away. Like, Colin Kaepernick is the exact reason why I think Johnny Manziel is going to be great in the NFL.
No. I'm sorry. You're not going to convince me on this. I'm going to stand my ground on this. I will tell you right now, Johnny Manziel will be an NFL bust. You can hold me to that.
An NFL
Hold me to that.
NFL bust. That's, again, a bold statement, and
we'll find out next season. People will find out next season.
All right, well, let's move on. Let's move on to a pretty popular topic, and since we're on the topic of NFL draft, the NFL and this whole medical marijuana issue. Now, I've been reading up, and safety Ryan Clark has had a lot to say about it. He said, and I quote, that the NFL is fighting a losing battle. The ban, and because they give one test during the OTAs, and then as soon as that test is done, they do nothing after that. So all you have to do is be clean for the OTAs, and then you can smoke marijuana freely throughout the rest of the season. And there's only 2 paths that the NFL can take. They can either allow marijuana to be smoked, medical marijuana to be smoked, or they can do random testing and be a lot more strict with their regulations. And I just feel that they really need to make a decision because one test proves nothing. It proves nothing, in my opinion.
Well, I've been researching this a lot. I reported on it on my podcast, and the thing that Ryan Clark brought up, this was his main point. He said that his teammates use it as a substitute for more serious painkillers such as Vicodin. They use it as a painkiller. And I find that interesting mainly because I don't really think that's true, and secondly, I really just don't think that's true. So what I think the NFL is doing, the fact that Roger Goodell is even listening, even humoring this conversation is huge. Like, it's huge. If this happened 5 years ago, he would have been like, no. Legalizing medical marijuana, are you kidding? No. But now he's thinking about it. And he was saying that he's no doctor, but he's listening to the medical experts. And if they think this is something that should be allowed, then he'll allow it. But they're not saying that right now. Medical marijuana is used as a painkiller in things such as chemo, stuff like that. But they don't know if this would be beneficial for NFL players regarding head injuries, because that's what they've been kind of focusing on. I personally think that the NFL is not going to take that off the ban list until it is legal nationally, because
Absolutely.
that just causes too many problems. And then if the NFL were to allow it, you can be damn sure the rest of the professional leagues are going to allow it. It will get off every ban list, and it's going to be there. It's not going to be like be free to smoke. It's going to be you're allowed to smoke this amount for certain injuries. It's going to be prescribed by the team doctors. This is not some freebie for these players, and I think they're kind of seeing it as, ooh, yay, freedom, but that's not the case.
That's also what Ryan Clark addressed. He said that lifting the ban on marijuana won't promote smoking it. It'll just allow it to be an option as a painkiller, as a pain reliever, a stress reliever. So I think that's really important to keep in mind. Anthony, if you have anything to...
Yeah, it's just, like, there was an interview with Antonio Cromartie, and he said, quote, hold on, let me get the quote. If you ban marijuana, players are still going to smoke it. There's nothing you can do about that.
Exactly.
Like, it goes on. This is not just in the NFL. This is in every single sport. There's people who smoke marijuana every single day. No matter what you do, there's still going to be people doing it. And what are you going to do? Give them a fine? These multi-million-dollar players will be like, all right, here's your $10,000 fine. They're not going to care. They're going to keep smoking it. So I say just legalize it for medical marijuana. Not. And I agree with Ryan Clark's. I heard Ryan Clark's interview too on First Take when he said it's used instead of Vicodin and stuff like that. Part of me wants to believe that, but another part of me is just saying, all right, you're just sticking up for your players, and there's a lot of players that smoke marijuana in that stuff. Like it's.
Yeah. I read that
well
it said 50 to 60% of NFL players smoke marijuana regularly.
Yeah,
so
like,
it's really a problem. But you're completely right. Just because it's banned doesn't mean they're still not going to do it.
Exactly.
But Roger Goodell is going to think what he's going to think. But again, I'm pretty sure nothing's going to happen until the country does something about it. I mean, there are a good amount of states who have legalized it. This came up because we had Seattle and Denver, two places that have legalized medical marijuana. But it would create problems if they legalize it now because they still can't do it in the certain state, you know? Just because the league allows it doesn't mean a player on the Cowboys can do it because it's not legal in Texas. So that would just create problems about smuggling it and all these different issues that they don't even want to start to deal with.
Absolutely, and this is only one illegal substance that professional sports have an issue with. As you know, there's a big steroid scandal going on in the MLB. And recently we saw Alex Rodriguez, third baseman for the New York Yankees, just drop his lawsuit, and he'll be suspended for the entirety of the 2014-2015 season. And as someone who's watched the Yankees my whole life, I mean, I was a fan of A-Rod. I liked what he brought to the team. He contributed a lot. But at the end of the day, you have to know human growth hormones, steroids, any illegal performance enhancer, it's illegal, and there are repercussions to you using it. And there are people who are being paid to tell on who's using it. So you have to know what you're getting yourself into. So really, my sympathy for A-Rod, it's not there because he brought it on himself.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
I completely agree. I am also a huge Yankees fan. Even though I'm from Texas, still love the Yankees. Born and raised a Yankee fan. And I love A-Rod. You know, he did some great things for the Yankees. But ever since we continued to hype him up, he feels like he's invincible, you know? He knows taking steroids is illegal. The truth always comes out. Look at what has happened to every other MLB player. I don't know who he thought he was doing this, but I can tell you one thing. He is a genius for dropping this suit. This was the smartest decision he could have made. He was not going to win it. He looked stupid trying to argue his case when he was 100% guilty. he sits out a season, maybe he will humble himself, wanting to play better because he's lucky the Yankees even still want him after his subpar year last year. So, you know what, A-Rod, get it together, man. Like,
I mean, yeah, it's not like the Yankees no other team wants A-Rod. That's the only reason that the Yankees have to keep him, because no other team wants him. And, like, this was probably one of the saddest things I've ever had to watch, because growing up, A-Rod was my favorite baseball player. I always wanted to be a shortstop just like A-Rod. Then he came to the Yankees. He was a third baseman. It was like he was my favorite player. And now to see him go through all this, I'm just like I have no sympathy for him now. He should have dropped it in the beginning instead of kept on trying to fight it, because you just look, like Jill said, he just kept looking dumber and dumber the more he kept pushing this lawsuit. Like, it's honestly a good thing that he dropped it.
Absolutely. And I mean, on the topic of the New York Yankees, we'd be remiss
to the greatest.
No, Jeter.
Yeah, we've lost a great one. Well, we haven't lost him yet. He'll be here for the season, but Derek Jeter has officially announced his retirement. I read the speech. It made me a little emotional. Jeter was also a favorite player of mine. I mean, when you think Yankees, you think Babe Ruth, and then you think Derek Jeter. Honestly, in my opinion, you think Derek Jeter when you think New York Yankees. And he suffered a lot of injuries. He's had a rough couple past seasons, but he's also accomplished a lot for us. He brought us to a whole new level, in my opinion. So it's really sad that I'm gonna have to watch him go, but he's a legend. He'll always be a legend. I have the utmost respect for him, and I hope that we can get a ring for him in his last season.
I would love that. You know, I love Derek Jeter. He has my whole heart, and it's sad. You know, it's really starting to be the end of an era for the Yankees. We lost Mariano Rivera. You know, he's done. We'll never see him on that field again. We're about to lose Derek Jeter. This is his last season, and I hope he stays healthy. You know, I think this was a great decision on his part. It was him being mature. He understands that it's time. You know, there's no need to drag this out, get more injuries. I really hope he has a successful year. I would love to see us get a ring. We don't. I just want him to end on a good note because he is a legend. He will always be a legend. And all I can say is thank you to Derek Jeter, and I'm excited to see him for one last season.
Yeah, this was another sad story to have to read upon. I mean, he doesn't just represent the Yankees from '96 till now. He literally has represented the whole MLB. He's been the face of the MLB since he was, quote, the captain. He's been probably the greatest captain we've ever seen. Like, you see, when you think of like greatest captains, greatest conductors of their sports, you think of Ali, you think of Jordan. Then who's next? I think of Jeter.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally. And the numbers, like, they speak for themselves. 308 postseason batting average, 13-time All-Star, all-time leader in hits for the Yankees. Like, it's just 5-time world champion, 5-time Gold Glove, 5-time Silver Slugger. It's like, and in the dirtiest era of, like, Stephen A. Smith said this. I was watching it yesterday. He said, in the dirtiest era in the history of not just baseball, but probably in sports, this guy was one of the only guys that represented cleanliness.
That's great.
Pure, natural player.
Absolutely.
And it's really hard to find.
Yeah,
we love you, Derek Jeter.
It's more than it's as Anthony said. It's definitely more than a loss for the Yankees. It's a loss for the MLB. I mean, growing up playing baseball video games, he was always on the cover. He was always the person that I thought of when I thought baseball. My first baseball bat was signed by Derek Jeter. My first glove was signed by Derek Jeter. So Derek Jeter is baseball, in my opinion, and it's a big loss. And I mean, along with that, I really wonder about the future of the Yankees without him. I mean, we've lost Posada, we've lost Matsui, Clemens, Pettit, Lucino, all these people I grew up watching. We're just a completely different team now.
We lost Cano.
Cano.
He just ditched.
Cano just left.
I was talking about that the other night with one of my dad's friends, and I could show Cano a little piece of my mind because, first of all, he comes in after last season demanding a huge raise. He wanted like something like $120 million or something like that. The Yankees were willing to give him a lot of money over a longer span of time. He wasn't buying that. He wanted a lot of money in a short amount of time. And the way I saw it, I'm glad the Yankees didn't give in. The Yankees have all the money. We know this. But they didn't give in, because what has Cano done recently for us? Last season was terrible. We didn't even make the playoffs, so they were right to do that, because you shouldn't reward bad behavior, and that's what Cano is doing. You know, he's on another team now. He's gone. We also lost Curtis Granderson. Heartbroken about that too, but it's a new Yankees team. You know, we got to rebuild. Got to try this again. I mean, you look at the other teams in MLB, like the Dodgers are going to be hot. They're going to be hot. You know, the Yankees, we got to hope they come out hot. We don't want the Red Sox being hot at all. But
I think, yeah, all these players are going, but the Yankees have a real solid squad this year. I think it's more solid than the past maybe 2-3 years. Like, their pitching rotation is finally set. Now that Michael Pineda says he's 100%, where's he been the past 2 years? He's been hurt. Now you have him. Now you have Sabathia. Now you have they just signed him, Masahiro Tanaka. Who else? Ivan Nova. And they got solid pickups in the outfield in terms of Ellsbury, Beltran. They got McCann behind the plate. Finally a good catcher since Posada left. Teixeira's coming back off injury. We signed Brian Roberts. I'm not too thrilled about that, but he's a second baseman, plays Cano. But I think they are a solid playoff team this year. Definitely.
I mean, the Yankees are always projected to do well, and I always hope for the best for them, but we always seem to tank. So, I mean, as a Yankee fan, I'm always optimistic. I mean, at the same time, you have to be realistic and understand that there are better teams in the MLB. So it's just I hope that we play to our potential and we maximize on all the abilities we have and all these new additions, and ultimately we get a ring and send Jeter off the right way.
Yeah.
Moving on, I think that it would be really good if we talked a little bit about some college basketball. I know Jill's learning to talk Texas ball, so
let me start this off. Okay, so let's talk a little college basketball. Honestly, I'm a big college football fan, but all of a sudden Texas is coming out. You know, we're coming out strong too. I see Texas going pretty far in the tournament this year. It seems like we can give everybody good competition. But the weirdest thing that has happened this season is that the Big 12 is the dominant conference. When you think Big 12, you're thinking football, you don't think basketball. And all of a sudden, we're sneaking out of nowhere, and we're the best conference in basketball this year. I mean, we got Kansas State. Kansas State is on a hot streak. Unfortunately, they beat Texas, and then they win and beat Kansas. Huge upset in overtime. Kansas State is on fire. And then Oklahoma State, you know, they lost Marcus Smart. We destroyed them this weekend, but they're still hot. Marcus Smart is a lot for that team. They didn't lose just because they didn't have him, but kind of I just think they were down about it. I'm not really sure. I got the W. I don't really care. But so you're looking at those two. You're looking at Texas. Texas on fire. Kansas, always a great team. We are dominating that. Baylor's coming around. You know, we have the best conference in basketball, and so I wouldn't be surprised if you're looking at the championship game and you see a Big 12 team in there. I don't know if it's Texas. I would like it to be Texas, but I mean, you got Syracuse, and you always have Syracuse in the mix. You know, Syracuse. You're looking at these big basketball schools, but I mean, Texas has shown out. We beat UNC this season out of conference. We beat Michigan State. I don't know. You got something going on with Texas. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, Texas is definitely playing hard. I can see them doing pretty well in the tourney. As you said, championship, not entirely sure about that, but I can definitely see them going pretty far. I have a lot to say about Syracuse. Yeah, they're undefeated. They're ranked the best team in the nation. It's really nothing new. Same old song for them. They plow through the opposition during the regular season, then they always disappoint during March Madness when it counts. We saw it happen 2 years ago with Fab Melo being thrown on academic probation. Their offensive onslaught was great, but they had no defense. Last season they faced a great team in Michigan. Michigan was the better team than them. Really, I'm not as impressed with them as everyone else is. I mean, they narrowly remained undefeated with that miracle shot by Tyler Ennis. I don't see a championship game for them. They might not even advance past the Elite Eight. I mean, Syracuse is just one of those teams. They're one of those teams that dominates, but they're also one of those teams that's very susceptible to being beaten on any given day. I mean, there's teams like Florida Gulf Coast last year, flew under the radar, had some really big wins. So a team like that could easily beat Syracuse. So really,
Man, I gotta stop you there. Syracuse this year, unlike any other year, I think, me personally, besides Jabari Parker, I think Tyler Ennis is the second best player in college basketball. Like, period. He is the conductor of that team. He dictates what happens on that team. That's why this year, different than all these other years, they are going to go past the Elite Eight. They're going to go to the Final Four, and I see them in my championship. Yeah, on any given day, you can beat anybody, but that goes for every other team too. That can go for teams like Duke. That can go for teams like UNC. That can go for teams like Texas, Oklahoma State, all these teams. They can be beaten on any given day. But that's one of the things I like about the tournament. Anybody can lose, but I think Syracuse makes serious noise and makes it all the way to the championship. That's just me.
The thing that people love about March Madness is just like you said, anything can happen. That's why when you make your bracket, it is the most frustrating thing in the world because you don't know what is an upset and what's going to happen, you know? That's what it is. That's why we love the tournament. It drives us crazy, but we love it. And that's the thing is that I honestly think Syracuse could handle any opponent. That doesn't mean they're going to blow out every opponent, but they have shown us this season that they are something to work with. Like they are something. They are not backing down. They are undefeated right now. That is an incredible feat. Like that is something amazing. That's something to be proud of. So I see them in the championship game, and I would be surprised if they didn't make it at least till the Final Four. As far as the other side of that is, I don't know who would be going up against them, and I don't know who could really beat them. It would have to be some crazy game for Syracuse to go down in the tournament. And it doesn't even matter if they finish out this season undefeated. What matters is when they get into the tournament, they're always going to be a top seed. We know this. So it's just as far as how they can handle that. And then with the Big 12, I think there's going to be a Big 12 player in that a team in that championship game. I'm not exactly sure who. Again, like I said, I'd love to see Texas in it. We've never won a championship. I think I'd like one. So, I mean, that's just how I'm looking at it. I'm still putting my horns up. I want something out of us.
I mean, yeah, I hear all this talk about unbeaten teams, but there's an unbeaten team that has a better record than Syracuse. I mean, my dark horse for the tournament is Wichita State, the only other undefeated team in the country. 25 wins and no losses is nothing to downplay. And the fact they've been so successful thus far shows they can make noise just as much as Syracuse. And, I mean, I would not count them out. 25 wins and no losses is nothing to downplay, as I said before. I mean, yeah, Syracuse is great, as always. They're number one in the country. We've seen it before. But I go off of what have you done for me lately. And lately, Syracuse hasn't won the big one. They haven't made it to the big one. So I just don't see them. I see them doing the same thing they've done. I'd watch out for Wichita State. Louisville is always a team to look out for. Kansas, Duke, Michigan State, Cincinnati. And this is really what I love about March Madness. There's no guarantee that just because you're one of the best teams in the country that you're going to dominate in the tournament and go far. You don't have to be the best team all the time. You just have to be simply the better team for 40 minutes one day, rest up, and then do it all over again. There's no series where you have to game plan how to shut down someone for 7 games. One win, and you're in. So this is what I like. I really look forward to seeing – I look forward to seeing Syracuse play well. I just don't see them going to the championship. I'd watch out for Wichita State. Always got to look out for Louisville. Always got to look out for Kansas.
My thing with Wichita State is, like, I've seen a couple of their games, but I have not seen them play a tough, worthy opponent like all these other teams we've been talking about. Texas pulled off a great win against Kansas. That was a great win.
Oh, it was.
Yeah. And I haven't seen Wichita State beat a top-tier team like that. So they made noise last year in the tournament, but I want to see them beat someone worthy before I have confidence in them winning anything, because I just don't see it yet.
And I mean, that's the great thing about college basketball. You don't know until you know. So, I mean, I look forward to March Madness. I think it's going to be
March Madness is going to be great this year. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
And I really look forward to the Cinderella story. I want to see another 15 seed go to the Elite Eight and make a lot of noise.
What if you want to see Texas go into the Elite Eight?
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Texas go either, you know.
That's all I want to hear. That's all I want to hear.
All right. Well, this would have been the Q&A session, but it appears that no one has any burning questions. So, I mean, if you guys want to wrap up with anything else in sports that you're interested in, I'll chime in.
Well, I was looking at another Texas thing. Is Texas gave Mac Brown $2.75 million in a one-year job to buy out the rest of his contract. So I'm going to say, being Mac Brown right now, it must be kind of nice.
Definitely. I mean, you coached a successful football team. You're retiring in glory. $2.75 million is nothing to be mad about. It sucks to see Mac Brown go, but like I said last week, I look forward to seeing Texas's future. I also look forward to just the college football season in general, because that's always exciting. College basketball and college football are probably two of my favorite sports to watch, because you just never know what's going to happen. Big plays, upsets. There's just so much.
I'm so happy about the NBA season right now. Yeah, my Lakers are doing really, really bad, but just watching like this, I've never seen Kevin Durant play like this ever.
MVP.
And LeBron is just, he may be coasting or whatever people are saying, but when it comes time for the playoffs, and I do not like LeBron. I have respect for him, I just don't like him because I like Kobe. But this man can play basketball. Like, he's the best basketball player in the NBA. It's that simple.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to bring up, I sent Armand some of Skip Bayless's tweets last week concerning LeBron in the dunk contest, which I voiced my opinion on last week's show about that. And Skip made a great point, is LeBron can do these crazy dunks in practice, as there have been videos posted on Instagram of him doing some crazy dunk, because there's no competition when he's doing it by himself. And Skip made a point to say that LeBron is scared of these young, hot dunkers who could show him up. Because if LeBron goes into that dunk contest and he does not win, we would all be shocked. That is a huge blow to him and to his pride. And I think Skip nailed it on the head. That is why LeBron is running from the dunk contest. He's scared.
LeBron doesn't need to waste his time in the dunk contest. Come on. It'd be a great thing for him to do, but do you honestly think LeBron James is going to lose in a dunk contest?
He definitely could. Absolutely he could lose. And if you look at the dunk contest, all the great players have participated in it. So what is he running from?
I'll give you that. Yeah. All the great players.
Michael Jordan,
Kobe Bryant.
Yeah. Julius Erving, like, come on, LeBron, best player in the world. Like,
he's scared. I'm telling you, he's scared. He's scared he's going to get showed up by one of these young players, and they could. They're young. They move better than he can because they're younger. They got something in their head that maybe he doesn't. And I mean, he's running for a reason, and I don't know, LeBron.
There's a lot of stiff competition this year. There's Damian Lillard, Ben McLemore, Terrence Ross, Paul George. There's a lot of competition. I mean, Paul George is a pretty great dunker. I'd like to see Paul George and LeBron James in the finals of the dunk contest.
Harrison Barnes is my sleeper. Harrison Barnes is going to win the dunk contest. Watch.
That's Anthony's bold prediction for All-Star Weekend. Jill, what do you got?
For the dunk contest?
This All-Star Weekend or the dunk contest?
I'm saying All-Star Weekend, MVP of the celebrity game, Kevin Hart.
Yes.
I'll be a three-peat, baby. You can't stop Kevin Hart.
And obviously, my bold prediction for the All-Star game, Kevin Durant will drop 44 points, and he will be the MVP.
I like it. I'll roll with it.
Only because Kobe's not playing, but all right, I'll give you that.
All right, Anthony, again, I'd like to thank you for joining us. You're welcome to come back on the show whenever you'd like. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. The video will be up in a few hours. We have a special editor, one of Joe's friends, Taylor Gant, who does some pretty amazing stuff with our videos. So it won't be up immediately, but give us a few hours, and the video will be up for you guys to watch. Again, happy Valentine's Day. Happy All-Star Weekend. Thank you guys for tuning in, and have a great day.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Of course.